there's something about the future that frightens people because it is something that is not yet, and it is therefore sheer possibility.
No generation in the past has ever had such a responsibility towards the future as this one does. We are balanced on the edge of a knife. We could go either way into ecological, economic, and species catastrophe, or we could build the future that we've always dreamed of.
Can anyone say that our high-tech civilization is going to be around 6,000 years from now? 1,000 years from now? 100 years from now?
One of the ideas that I think we need as humans to take very seriously is the idea that we can replace evolution with a more deliberately chosen process.
Inventors propose, and society disposes. The engineers throw innovations and ideas out there, and society decides whether it wants them or not. And most of what inventors proposed is thrown away.
The 50s and the 60s were part of a vision of utopia, that we could control the world, that technology was going to help us control the world.
A new world is constantly opening before us at an ever-accelerating rate of progress. A greater world, a better world, a world which always will grow forward.
As a human race, we have to ask ourselves some pretty fundamental questions, like, can we contain carbon and not have the polar ice caps melt? You know, that's a pretty big question that we need to answer. And it used to be that we'd just go out and do the experiment, but, you know, if you're talking about nuclear weapons or swine flu or something like that, you don't want to do the experiment.
There's huge controversy over whether the climate change models we have today are accurately predicting the future. For all practical matters, they all agree on one thing: we're in trouble.
We're very reluctant to change things. We like familiarity, and that tends to be familiarity with disastrous ways of living and disastrous ways of behaving.
Pessimism works against what we need, which is long-term thinking. In times of crisis, the person who thinks longest wins.
As our information technologies become more complex, then our capacity to understand the world becomes more powerful and ideally allows us to make better choices, new choices that we simply couldn't have made before.